Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Nobody's Favorite Podcast. Today, this is a very, very, very special episode. Today is an episode about families, about sisterhood, and about discovery. Today, I've got very special guests. I've got the light of my life, my other half, my better half, the queen of my castle, Miss Crystal Renee here. Say hello to the people.
Hi, everybody.
And we have another special guest here today. We have her sister, Miss Yesenia.
Hello.
So today we have them here because we are going to discuss something that a lot of people are going through right now, discovering new family members. But before we get into that, I want them to give a little background about themselves, let the people know a little bit about who you are, what you do. Let's go with you first, babe. Who are you?
So my name is Crystal Renee. I'm from New York, currently residing in Pennsylvania. I'm a mom of 5, and for work, I am a social worker, caseworker. I do stuff like that. So I'm in the psychology field, mental health. I just try to help families mostly connect. I deal with relationships and families and connection and stuff like that. So that's me.
Nice. Yeah, I knew all of that, but the people wanted to know, And Yesenia, let's get a little bit about you. Let's get a little bit about your background.
So, my name's Yesenia. I've been a nurse now for 9 years, married. We just made 7 years 2 weeks ago. We've been together 12, and we have 2 kids. They're 6 and 3. Got my boy and my girl, so we are done, all the way done.
Nice. No, I feel you on that. There
won't be any extra family members or things that they're gonna find out later. It's gonna be we're good.
Nice. All right, we got some great backstory there. Now, let's get into what we're here for. Let's get into what we doing here. So, recently, you guys didn't grow up as sisters. You guys actually recently discovered that you were related, correct?
Yes.
Very interesting.
So it's been about a year that I found out that she was my sister.
Wow. Okay. Nice. So that's really new, especially since you guys you're both still young. You're both still young. But you've already lived full lives, marriage, children, traveling, different careers. And now, after all of this time, you find out that there's another one.
Yeah. For me, it was there's 4 more.
With you. Yeah, you found out you had an entire new, they found out they had a new sister. You had a new entire family.
Right.
So,
but I literally found out a week after my 30th birthday. So in December, I got the DNA ancestry kit. And I jokingly said to my husband, I'm going to take this to find out who my dad is, right? Because I never knew him my whole life. My mom said, long time ago, that when she came around the block with me a few weeks after I was born and said, Manny, this is your baby. Her words were, he didn't claim me, didn't want nothing to do with me, said that my mom was a whore, all this shit, and that I was not his daughter. So then my mom was like, okay, fuck it. You don't want to be in her life. I'm never going to talk to you again. And then left. He has since told me a different story that kind of paints him in a different light than what she said. So it's kind of conflicting, and somewhere in there is the truth, So I had the first match that came up was actually not even to Crystal because she'd never done the DNA testing. It was Kristen, which is her cousin. My first cousin as well. It said first to second cousin relation. And the only way that could be my cousin is if, her father is my uncle, which would be, the brother to my father. So I hit her up. I sent her a message on the DNA thing and I was like, hey, it says that we're first to second cousin relation. And I think that you're from my dad's side because I've never met you. And I know everybody on my mom's side. Like I know every single first cousin. So I didn't hear anything like for 3 months. I sent it to her in March. I didn't hear shit. So I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, oh, okay, like just another dead lead. And I left it alone. But then I got a message a week after my 30th birthday. And it was from Kristen reaching out saying like, hey, I found you on Facebook. I think that, are you the same person who messaged me on DNA Ancestry? And I responded immediately back like, oh yeah, that was me. Like, what's up? And then she's like, I think that your dad is my uncle. And I was like, what? So then like we start going back and forth, exchanging information. I was like, well, what's his name? And then she said his name is Manuel Cabrera. And I was like, that's what my mom said was my dad's name. Then it was like, well, when's his birthday? And then like, she's like, I don't know, like maybe December, but like she had no idea. So then like we just started going back and forth about where they met, where he used to live. Like, oh, he lived in Queens. That's where my mom said that she met him, like all this stuff. And there was just too many coincidences for it not to be like certain. And then at some point, Kristen brought in Crystal and told her. And then that's when the whole shitball started rolling. And when we found out that like our brother is 2 months younger than me and like our dad actually cheated on her mom. They were married with my mom. And it was a whole like fucked up situation.
Wow. All right. That sounds very interesting from your end. That sounds like a lot.
It was a lot.
Hey, I mean, it led to a good situation. So Crystal,
it did.
On your end, how did this just transpire from your side? Like I see how she was like kind of blindsided. I mean, I guess you were all blindsided, but how did you find out about this and how did you react?
So initially when one of my cousin, actually, my cousin Kristen had reached out to me initially and she's like, hey, I got to talk to you. Literally within 2 minutes of her sending me that message, my father calls me. My father never calls me. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why is he calling me right now? And in the midst of that, he's literally calling me like 3 times in a matter of 5 minutes. And I'm like, okay, let me just answer. And then he's like, you know, he always starts off like, ¿Cómo está mi reina? Like, oh, how you doing, my princess, my queen type shit. And he's just like, oh, I just wanted to catch up. How are you doing? How the kids? How my grandkids? How's the baby? How's the hubby? Oh, everything that I'm just like, and I literally
never
like,
called for this.
Never. And I'm just like, okay, like, and I literally said, what do you want? Like, why are you calling me? And he's like, look, have you spoken to your cousin? Literally, verbatim. Have you spoken to your cousin? And I'm like, no. He's like, okay, so apparently,
oh my God.
Apparently, there's this girl that's claiming that I am her father. He's like, her name is Jasenia, and I don't know all the information, but I promise you, I don't remember sleeping with her mom. And I'm just like, what? And I'm just like, so I'm just like baffled, confused, but not surprised. Because I know my daddy's a whore. Like, I'll keep it a buck. Like, I always knew that one day in my lifetime, it was going to come up that my father had more children. I guarantee there's maybe 2 other ones out there that we have yet to find out about. Just because my father was like, literally like,
he was a Rolling Stone.
Papa was a Rolling Stone, was literally my father. So much so that the day I found out about Jasenia, that was literally, I posted that. Like, literally, my post was, Papa was a Rolling Stone. What a fucking day. And that's when, you know, Jasenia and I had talked and stuff like that. So he's telling me all this, and I'm just like, all right. So I'm just taking it in. And then afterwards, I did reach out to my cousin, Kristen, and she's like, well, this girl looks just like you. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And she's like, let me send you pictures. Starts, you know, blasting me with pictures. And I'm like, holy fuck, like she really does look like me. And so much so she's telling me the story of how you guys got connected. And she's like, well, she's open to talking to you and getting to know you. Like she would like to, you know, she wants to learn more about her father. Like that's her goal. Because then I'm like, okay, what does she want from me? what am I going to do? And she's like, she has no connection. She doesn't know anything about her dad. She doesn't know anything. She knows she's Dominican and Puerto Rican. She's Puerto Rican because of her mom. She's Dominican because of her father, but she doesn't know anything. So I did reach out to Jasenia on Facebook, and I'm just like, hey, I got your information from my cousin Kristen. Apparently, I'm your sister. So, like,
exactly how it happened.
Literally, like, apparently I'm your sister.
Like, this isn't awkward.
And I just gave her some background information, like, oh, my name is this. I was born then. I have, children and this, that, and I live here. And then we discovered she lived in Delaware. She's like, oh, maybe we can link up one day. And then, within that time frame, her and I kept in contact, spoke about meeting up, didn't actually think it was ever going to happen. Spoke about meeting up.
It was supposed to be like for the kids, like for us and the kids together. And then like how this whole thing happened was
like out of nowhere, like it's June and I get thrown in a group chat and it's just like, so we're meeting up this date to meet and it's going to be a cousin sister trip so we can all get to know each other. And I'm like, what? What the fuck you mean?
Well, we were like voted on dates. It wasn't like we said, oh, this is the date. Like we said, hey, like we really want to meet up. And first it was just us three, like me, you, and Kristen. And then Kristen added Arlene. And then Arlene was like, oh, okay, here we are.
And Arlene's our other cousin who is Kristen's sister.
So then it ended up just also her half sister. Fun fact.
And this trip y'all are talking about to meet up. This is the trip y'all are on right now at this moment, correct?
Right now
at this moment, yes.
So you guys are
like
meeting
the first time, like
like honestly,
in person.
Jasenia, that was the first time I've ever met her. My cousin Kristen, I have not seen her since I was 17.
Oh,
so it's been quite some time. Arlene, the last time I saw her, she was 2 and she is about to be 27. So
damn.
Wow.
It was a long, long time since I've seen family, met, Arlene, I'm like telling her like, yeah, I know you. And she's like, I don't recall ever meeting you. And I'm just like, well, you were a baby, of course, whatever. So, this has been quite the experience. We literally have had so far happy times, not so happy times. There's been a lot of personalities. It's getting to getting used to knowing these individuals. Cause it's like usually like realistically speaking, in general, if I have a disagreement with a female and I really don't like them, it's like, all right, whatever, fuck this bitch. Like, let's keep it moving. But it's like, we're all family. But that's not an option here. It's like, okay, there's a disagreement. There's something that's off. We need to figure it out and hash things out and how we're going to move forward so that everybody's happy kind of thing. So it's been very interesting. Like, she got to meet our father and they did a DNA test. And now we should be getting results by the end of this week. She met our uncle, which is Kristen and Arlene's dad. And, he's here. He's the jokester of the group. So he's just like, it's
sounds like
when we did the reservation under special request, Arlene puts DNA testing.
That was the reservation she made. Was like DNA testing.
Kristen had, Crystal had said like, oh, you should put like first time meeting the dads or something, or like I'm meeting my father or something crazy. And it was fun. And she's like, I'm literally putting special request DNA test. And then she's like, what if they thought that like they needed to give us a DNA test?
This is interesting. This is a whole daddy-daughter meetup.
It was.
So
like the whole little family affair.
So, Crystal, you're pretty much fresh with everybody. So everybody's fresh with everybody except for Arlene and Kristen. They've been growing up together with each other, but...
So they grew up together, but even them themselves coming into this trip, they had, had a falling out themselves as sisters, and they hadn't seen each other for like 3-4 years or spoken to each other for 3-4 years. So like it was literally just super fresh. Everybody just meeting up for the first time. And it was just like, whoa. Yeah. Like, you look like me and you look like me and you look like me, but, you know, we don't really know each other at all.
Yeah, I ain't no doctor, but I don't think I need a DNA test to tell that y'all are sisters. I mean, if by some weird stroke this happens to be, nah, there's no way. There's no way. Y'all two are definitely related because it's exactly like it. It's crazy.
The funny thing is we actually thought about that. Like right before we came on here, we were just like, what if we get the results and it says you're not? Like, we're not sisters. Like,
that's another episode.
Look,
that's another episode right there.
Right. That's a follow-up. That's a follow-up.
Yeah, because that's crazy.
Literally.
Y'all, like, all the names
just like,
and everything.
Papa was a Rolling Stone. My mom was a Rolling Stone too. So honestly, I can't put anything past nothing right now. Apparently the 90s was a crazy time is what our father told me. Like everybody was stealing cars in the 90s. I'm like, oh, okay. Like what was this, Grand Theft Auto? I guess. I
mean, there were a lot of movies and stuff like that in the 90s.
That's true. I mean, I vividly remember my mom telling me that like that my dad was a criminal because he would steal cars. And like when he came to pick her up, that he was in an unmarked cop car. And she knew it was an unmarked cop car that he had stolen because when she opened the glove compartment, like the gun fell out and it had like I guess police guns are registered some type of way. I don't know. It was like in a police holster. And then she was like, is this a police car? And he's like, yeah, I just stole it. Like just real calm, real like nonchalant. And my mom didn't like say, oh, let me out the car. Nothing. She was just like, oh, okay. These are the standards, you know. But yeah.
Hey man, those were different times. Those were different times.
Mm-hmm.
The 90s.
I think that stealing today is still stealing, like how it was back then. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, stealing is stealing, but you know, I mean, now people have Instagram. Like back then, you had to occupy your time somehow.
True.
So I could like steal a car, right? Why not?
Oh. Okay, my bad. Yeah.
I mean, my dad did more than just steal cars.
Well, we're not about this podcast, but this ain't the first one.
That's what I said. I said I'm not about to hear his business.
Listen, we gonna bleep out his name.
Nah.
We gonna have to do everything because
right.
I mean,
the feds is about to come on here, and I'm like, wait,
about to have me on surveillance. This motherfucker. No. This is a family show. This episode.
Oh God, that's funny.
So I had a question for you, Crystal.
Yeah.
I wanted to know. So like, I was doing some research because it's happening. I saw like recently there was this lady who found out she had like 65 siblings or something like that because her like father was like a sperm donor or something, and then she did like a DNA test or something, and then ended up finding out she had like a lot of siblings. So I guess my question would be like, how do you feel? Like, how do you like you growing up? Because those people don't know their dad. Their dad was a sperm donor. They never, none of them ever met him. So they're all like just coming together brand new. You, as somebody who's known your dad for a while, for I guess your entire life, having your relationship with him, did it ever make you feel any kind of way like, oh no, there's a new daughter? Like, what? I gotta share my dad?
I mean, I felt like that yesterday. No,
I was gonna say, you said that you didn't feel the same way when we talked about this last night.
No.
This is a safe space.
Last night. No, I mean, for me, it was just like, okay, so this is gonna sound really fucked up. So I was just known as my dad's like pretty daughter. So it was just like, not to sound shallow, like now Jasenia's here and she's pretty, so I gotta share that limelight. Like,
wow.
I said it was shallow.
Wow.
That's literally what it was.
So
I said it was shallow.
Not. Oh like, no, this is my dad. No, it's about who he thinks the prettiest daughter is.
Yeah, like I know I'm like I know like if I were to look at my dad's like kids, like I was the first, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a bad bitch. Like, I'm like the best looking one. And then here comes Jasenia, and it's just like, damn, like she might have taken that from me just a little bit. So,
Crystal, you're beautiful though. Like, why would
I know I
say
am. I'm just
that?
saying that you're like up there with me.
Oh, so you feel like I'm competition.
Yeah. And
But it's
we
not
already
a
know.
competition. We're sharing.
It's not, but it is. No. It's not, but it is, because at the end of the day, you know, I'm competitive. Like,
I know,
proven this
but
to
like,
be
why?
very.
But like, why are we competing? What are we competing? I'm so confused. What's the game? What's the rules? Like,
Listen.
what are
I
we
mean, I know this is a
competing?
sister thing, but everything is competing with Crystal. Okay, listen, I love you,
Yes.
babe, but it's just, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. I guess
It's
in
like,
her
oh,
brain, it
you're
doesn't have
tired?
to
No,
make
I
sense.
bet you I'm gonna go to sleep first. Right? Like,
Yep.
what? What are we
Anything.
doing?
Like, it's
right?
weird. It's like,
Everything.
Oh,
it
you're
doesn't make
hungry?
sense.
No, bitch, I'm hungry. Like, wait, this isn't nothing. We can both be hungry. Like, we don't have to.
Yeah, I'm.
So, yeah, I mean, I wasn't jealous. So, I wasn't jealous to share him, because clearly there's enough for him to go around. No, but in all
Okay.
actuality, like, it was just like, I always wanted a sister that was close. Like, of course, I have my sisters and I love them to death, but I always wanted like a sister that was closer to me in age, which would fall where Jasenia's at, because she's only 4 years younger than me.
So then I'd be 4 years younger than you.
I said 4 years.
I thought
Yeah.
you said 5.
No, I said 4.
You said 5. No, he heard you. He said
No,
you
she said
you
4.
said 5.
She said 4. Well, we'll see in the playback. I think I heard 4.
Oh,
But we'll see in the playback.
I said 4. Anyway, I said, so that's close enough. That's close to my age. Unless, like I said, unless there's another kid somewhere. Like, I always wanted a little sister. I was okay with that. Like, you know, I have my brother who, you know, is 2 years younger than you. He was the
2
closest one
months.
to my age. I mean, 2
2 months.
months. You're right. 2 months
2 months
younger than you.
Just clarify.
I grew up with him, but that was like more like my kid than my
Yeah.
equal. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm older now, so it's like we miss out on the like sisterly stuff of like
The
being
young stuff.
teenagers and like,
Yeah.
oh, let's go hang out in the mall, or like
We can still hang out in the
Hey.
mom.
don't
We
fuck
could
my
do kid shit.
boyfriend. Like,
Yeah, you guys can go.
Sisters
go
be fucking
cruise the
sisters'
mall.
boyfriends.
did we not just watch that on Jerry Springer today? Like,
We
that was
did.
literally the
We did.
episode.
But I'm the person that's like sisters before misters. Like that's my slogan. Like you know how men say bros before hoes.
I
I'm
like that.
sisters before
That was good.
misters. Like
That was good.
I'm
sisters, but more, yeah, that's a
not.
good
Yeah,
one.
sisters
I like
before
that.
misters. You
That's
can't
cool.
fuck up the code. Like that's the code. That's the code. Like anyone that you've ever even like fucked or been in a relation. Oh shit. Wait, can I cuss? You said it was a
you
family
sure. No,
show.
no. This
Oh,
episode
oh.
is about family.
Oh,
It's
oh.
not a fucking family show. Trust me.
Okay. But yeah, like anyone that's like you fucked or been in a relationship with, like I would not. I mean, obviously I'm married, and like unless like I put him in the ground or God does, like you know, we're not. There's no divorce here. But Justin's looking at me like, whoa, this bitch is crazy. He said, don't rub off on her. But unless like if something like that were to happen, like nah, I wouldn't. It wouldn't even be like a thought. Like I'm definitely a sisters before misters first.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to have found her now. Like, I'm still young enough to be able to build a relationship with her and have us grow together now as, you know, old people, I guess.
That's
I'm not
cool.
old.
You guys are not old. You guys are young. You're still young.
Old. Right.
You're not
We have so much
old.
life. I don't even know if we're halfway through our life. Like I'm not dying at 62.
I hope not.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate. That would be quite unfortunate. You don't want that
That'd
to
be-
happen. Oh yeah, you don't want that
Oh
to
my
happen.
God.
You guys need
Y'all
more
have
time
me
together. You guys need
dying.
more time together. Another question.
Right.
So
Yeah.
when you guys met, so it's gonna sound weird, like how the analogy I use here, but just stick with me for a
Okay.
minute, right? So you
Okay.
know, like when a guy goes to, or a woman, like anybody goes to the military, and they're going for a long time, and then they come home, and the dog is like, oh shit, oh, he's all happy to see them and everything. It's like a connection, like that's that bond. It's cool. Like when, even though y'all didn't know each other, you've been speaking for a past year, whatever, but this is the first time meeting. Did you guys feel
Mhm.
like when you met that there was like a connection, like a familial attraction? Like, oh my God, this is, I know, I feel you. You're my sister.
Okay.
Was that
Do you want to go
Weird
first?
enough, I was actually
Go
going
ahead.
to say, in reference to Jasenia, like not to speak for you, but I guess that's the big sister in me. She said she had that connection with our dad, which,
Interesting.
Initially, when I first came up to meet her, it wasn't as warming as I thought it was going to be. If I'm being quite honest, I thought she was going to be like, oh, big sister. And it wasn't that. It was just like, all right, kind of thing. Like,
Okay.
she didn't seem as happy to meet me as I felt like I was going into it. Like, okay, I thought she was going to be all excited to see me. And it wasn't that. It was just like, all right, kind of thing. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So, okay. So I will say from my standpoint, like, I was excited, but I'm also very cautious. Like, I don't like to, like, I can't rush into like intimate relationships like that. And like, to me, like sisters, brothers, whatever, mom, dad, like all those are very intimate relationships. And like, you just don't want, like, I didn't want to come off as being hype. And then you're like, whoa, like, okay. So like, I just wanted to manage the expectation. Like, I didn't want to come on too strong. Like when someone's like, when you meet a guy and like, he's hella thirsty and he's like, oh, blah, 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 right? Like trying to be all over you. It's just like, okay, like chill out. Like I just met you. So like, I didn't know what the vibe was going to be. Like, had I known that like you were coming warmingly and like, oh yeah, like we're huggy, touchy, feely people. Because I am like, I'm a super affectionate person. Like you've seen, like I've laid on you here and there, like whatever, because like now it's more comfortable. But like, I didn't know what your vibe was. And like, we've only texted and talked. Like it hasn't been like, oh, sister, this, whatever. And I didn't want to like come on too strong. And then you're like, whoa, this is a lot. You know what I mean? So I just like played it more reserved and like just let it be more natural, I guess, if that makes sense. But I wasn't trying to be like, standoffish, because that's how you took it. I could see.
Just a little bit.
But you didn't come no warm and friendly either. Like, had you shared that same type of energy, that I would have reciprocated that. But I didn't want to be like, I guess I was like not being vulnerable. Like, I didn't want to put myself out there like that and then be like, I don't know, like you act, I guess how I acted towards you.
But you see, in the same position, funny enough, I can say the same thing towards you in the sense of, all right, I didn't feel the warmth, so I'm not coming that way because I do in general have a fear of rejection. That's how I felt too. And especially when it comes in the form of, as you said, intimacy with a relationship that is my sister, my man, my family. That at that token, when I'm coming and you're just like on some whateverness, I'm like, all right, so I'm not about to put myself out there. This bitch don't even want a fucking relationship with me like that. She's just
like I came up and I hugged you. Like it wasn't like I didn't hug you. Like I hugged you,
but I felt like it was fake.
Well,
it wasn't fake.
Got it.
It was guarded. It was guarded. It was guarded. It was.
Well, how do you guys feel now? That was then. How do you feel now?
Then 2 days ago.
2 days could be a big difference. 2 days can make a big difference.
It is.
I feel like we do have that sisterly bond now.
Nice.
Like I can feel it.
Nice. That's what I want.
It's there. Yeah.
That's good.
2 days later, like she said, she literally just be coming up on me and just laying down on me and stuff like that. Like, she's like, I'm just going to lay on you. You're just squishy. Okay.
Well, I don't know.
You see, like that, okay, like why you got to make me feel awkward? Like, just like,
because you said it's not awkward.
Come here.
You said I was squishy. Like,
no, like I didn't mean squishy. Like I meant soft. Like your skin was soft. That's
I just have
all.
soft skin.
Oh, yeah,
You
my
do.
squishy baby. I love you. My squishy baby.
And he knows he's cuddled with you. So
yeah. It's been too many days since then.
buddy.
It's been too many days since then, I need you back home soon. But that's a different
We were just
story.
having a whole conversation. Look, that's a whole nother podcast. Okay, that's a whole nother fucking episode. That's like a 21 and up after adult hours episode. We could call that shit the red light special, to be continued. Because we had a whole conversation. If you had been at that Cuban spot, been a fly in the wall, you would have been like, word. Like we was dropping some gems at that table. That's for another
my
episode,
God.
though.
Oh
Back to
my,
this,
yeah. We'll talk about that another time. So you guys both wanted the warmth, but at the same time you didn't want to feel like you were getting rejected, so you guys downplayed it a little bit.
Right. Didn't want to.
But after a while,
right.
Yeah, after you guys met the dads and did everything you guys did, and boom, boom, boom. 2 days later, here you are, big happy family. Nice.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you, Jasenia. When so Crystal said that you had that connection to your dad when you met him, that you felt it, right? Do you feel like, and you also said that you have a problem with the intimate relationships. You don't like to just jump into it. Do you feel like that is your dad? Like that's it? Like you don't need this DNA, even though you've already taken it, you don't need this DNA test. Like this is my dad.
Yeah, it's like I was trying to describe it to Crystal yesterday. Like when we hugged, it was like, I don't know, like it was just, it just felt like I couldn't I still can't find the words to describe it, but it was like an electric, like type of charge. Like, I don't know, like, I don't want to be dramatic and be like, oh, it sounds like when lightning strikes, but it's like, I don't know, like, it was just like something, like I felt something. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was like one of those feelings of just like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like,
Okay.
unless like you've ever like experienced it, it's like hard to.
No,
like,
it's that feeling of
pinpoint what that
certainty.
feeling
I understand.
was. Yeah.
He understands.
Nice. I'm glad you had that feeling.
I guess
I'm
it's
glad that
almost
you
like-
got this.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never met you. I don't know you personally, even though you guys have been talking for a year. This is my first time ever speaking to you. I mean, I don't know if Crystal was like, oh, I don't want to introduce you to my sister because I don't know if that's my sister yet. You know what I'm saying? Or what? But hi.
Oh, I don't know.
How you doing?
got to take that away.
But anyway.
But to be fair, she hasn't talked to my husband either.
No, I mean, I was just messing with her. That's fine. I mean, this is all about y'all. I'm just the guy who stays in the back and holds the bag while y'all go do what y'all gonna do. Honestly, like I said, I don't know you. I don't really know your situation. I don't know what your situation is with your other siblings. I don't know anything about any of it. But all I do know is that I do like to see people happy. And Crystal there's been, like when she talks about going on vacation and stuff, at times she seemed a little reserved. Obviously like you did, a little bit I don't want to bring my defenses down too much. But she seemed really excited. Really excited. I was really excited for her for this trip. Getting to meet you, and honestly, her getting to see you interact with you guys' dad, and just getting this time to bond. Living where we do live, it's not where we're from, so she doesn't really get much time to be around her friends and family much. So I'm glad you guys got to do this. I really am.
Yeah,
I really am.
It was a good time. It's been a good time. It's been a vibe.
Nice.
It's been a whole vibe. The
So
beach,
do you still?
the sun, the sand?
Oh yeah, you guys did a lot of beaching. You still live up in Delaware?
I do. Yep. I live in Delaware.
Okay, so that's not too far.
The only reason I do is
you guys don't got to go all the way to Florida to link up next time.
Oh yeah. No, she's actually a lot closer up in Pennsylvania than down here. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that, like this time actually, like getting the kids and stuff and like the husbands, boyfriends together and like hanging out, like a family thing. Because we wanted to do this first, like just us to like meet and have a bond. So like it wouldn't be like, okay, now it's like us and the kids. And it's like just the extra dynamic because you have like the mom role and then your wife role. And then it's like,
Yeah.
you know, trying to manage everyone's like comfortability and expectations and all that. And it's just like a lot. It can be a lot.
I mean, it's better that you guys went down there by yourselves anyway, because you get to be yourself.
Yeah.
You don't gotta, like you said, there's the mom role, the
Right.
wife role. You don't gotta like do anything. You can just be you. You
Right.
guys wanna just act crazy and wild and just do shit that you
Right.
wouldn't normally do on regular at home. Have at it. Ain't nobody there to say nothing to you about it. It's a
Or
vacation.
shit that we would do at home, just like not around our kids.
Yeah. There you go. So that's cool. That's cool. Wow. So, is there anything that you guys want to add about this? Like, you know, anything that you guys want to tell other people who may have had the same situation as you, like, or be on the fence about, like, you know, I did the test and I says I have some siblings, but I don't know if I want to meet them. Do you guys have any advice for anybody else going through similar situations?
Go ahead, Crystal. You can go first from yours, since you were like the one that didn't like do the DNA testing. You were just like you just came as a result.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, for me, I would just say tell anybody in this experience just to have an open mind about it. They don't necessarily have to just jump into it right away. Like, give it time
And we
to get
didn't.
through. But in the same token, like, at the end of the day, family's all we have. So for me, it's like, you know, I think it's great to have like an extra sibling that's someone that I can talk to and build with, and now even extend more family. Like, you know, hopefully, I mean, to what we think, Jasenia is my sister. Her kids would literally be my first set of niece and nephew.
Oh yeah.
So for like none of my other siblings have any kids. Like I'm used to being the one with all the kids on both sides of my family. Literally, well, you know, not without Jasenia, but like literally on both sides of my family, mom and dad, I'm just the one with the kids. So it's like for her to come in now to be able to play that, you know, that's a new hat that I'll get to experience, is being an aunt and stuff like that. And her kids are still young enough that I can develop a relationship with them and stuff like that. They can have a bond with my kids and stuff like that. So I do feel like that would be really good. So I just say, just fuck it. Just try it. Give it a shot. Like, and if it doesn't work out, y'all could just pretend like y'all didn't exist. Like y'all didn't know about each other all this time.
Just
And that's
true.
it. Just go back to your everyday life. Like,
Just go back to last
and
week,
just
right?
cut it off.
Fuck it.
Right.
Pretty much, but,
Before
like-
you knew.
but at the same time, if it does work out as, you know, so far what it seems like it's going for us, it's just more family, more people to be able to trust and, you know, build
Do
life
stuff with.
with and stuff. Like, why not?
And then now I can say
Nice.
you're going to your aunt's house for the summer. So just look forward to it.
So that's something new for both of you. So your children don't have any other aunts. Well, but until now.
My kids or her kids?
Yeah, yours, Jasenia.
No. So I have two sisters.
Okay.
I have two sisters on my mom's side. Yeah. So I'm the
Nice.
oldest of three. And my sisters have kids. My youngest sister has 9 kids. And my middle sister has 4 kids. Yeah. Yep. That's a whole. Honestly, that's all.
literally
That's
everyone's reaction every time. Every time
every
she says
single
9,
time.
everyone's like, like
every single time.
every
Like-
person.
every
and
from
that was all
yesterday.
like 9
They did.
biological children.
Like, yes, like out of her body. They're not all from
Yes.
the same person, but yes, out of
Yes,
her body.
out of her body.
Yes,
Oh
out of
my
her
God.
body.
So, I mean,
Yes.
together, Crystal and I have
Mhm.
8, but that's like in unison, like fucking combined.
Right,
what I mean?
right.
Like,
Not all
yeah.
from her.
Oh, yeah, no, wow.
Like, you would have
that's-
thought my sister
God
was
bless
a
that
farmer.
woman.
Like,
Jesus.
yeah.
Somebody get her like a board game
So
or
she is
something, man.
9.
Jesus Christ. She needs something to do.
Look, we tried.
Too much time.
But
on
my
her hands.
middle
Yeah.
sister has 4. Exactly. My middle sister has 4 kids. So I've been an aunt. Like, I had kids after my sisters started having kids. So like my youngest sister got pregnant when she was 15. I was still in college. And I was like helping my mom take care of him because my sister like abandoned him. So like I literally had him up in my dorm room, like my college dorm room on the weekends. Like, my sorority sisters knew who my nephew was. And like, they still to this day are like, yo, is he still a badass? Like, because he was trying to like beat our like sorority cat with a stick. Like,
Wow.
Where's this coming from? He was like,
Damn.
So yeah, he was wild. Damn. But so yeah, like I've been the aunt, like the aunt. And then like my relationship with my sisters is not great because my sisters made very different life choices than I did. And I just knew that I didn't want to live in poverty. Like I knew that I didn't want to have multiple baby dads. Like I knew that I wanted to be like married. Like I knew that that was the life that I wanted for myself because I saw stability in that. And I saw like the worth in that. And I like literally wanted to be everything that my mom wasn't. Like that was like my internal, you know, kind of motivation. Like that's why I worked my ass off and I graduated high school. Like I was the first in my family to graduate high school. I was the first in my family to go to college, let alone get a master's degree. Like that was like beyond everybody's like expectation, you know, like when you grow up like in the Bronx and then like your mom like gets into like a crazy ass relationship with her first husband, you go through all this abuse. Like literally the cards were stacked up for me not to be successful, for me to like be on drugs, for me to have a kid young, for me to like get involved in shit that was not the right path. But like I just persevered beyond that. And I found that through education, like I could get over that and like be the person I am today. So it's just like being able to now have like an older sister that that is very ambitious and like goal driven and like we're very similar personality types. Like it's nice to be able to have like intellectual conversations with somebody and like we can have like open dialogue about politics or open dialogue about how we feel about different stuff. And it's not like there's such a huge knowledge gap and there's not a huge like maturity gap either. Cause I've always been told like I'm very, like I'm an old soul. Like I'm very like mature for my age. Like all my friends have always been older than me. Like I have very few friends that are around my age and those that are like, we're very similar in maturity style. So to be able to like, I've always wanted to have like an older sibling. I've always said brother, but I'll take sister. It's fine.
I'm kind of like a brother.
You
I beat
are.
you in sports.
I beat you in sports. Oh my God. First of all, we haven't even played any sports. To play, like, what are you talking about?
Nah, get out of here. Get out of here with that. Anyway.
He's like, look, first of all, don't be telling people you're a man out here.
Yeah, no, we don't, this ain't that type of podcast. No. No offense, but yeah. This ain't one of those. Well, that's dope. That's dope. I'm glad that you got to, number one, flourish, thrive, and exceed expectations. And number two, find somebody that you can have the kind of connection with that not necessarily that you've been craving, but that you've been needing, you know, that we all need somebody that we can have an intimate relationship with, that we can feel like we can talk to about it. And, you know, it doesn't always have to be our spouse because, you know, I would like to believe that you're an intelligent woman, you have an intelligent husband. But sometimes we just need somebody else that we can open up differently. You know what I mean? Like I can talk to my siblings about not necessarily different things than I talk to my woman about, but in different ways. I mean, we can have man talk. You know, you guys can have nice girl talk. You know, so that's dope. That's dope. I'm glad you guys have that. I'm glad you have that. I'm glad Crystal has that. That's pretty cool. So, do you have any advice for people trying to see if they want to meet their siblings?
Yeah, I would just say like, had you told me, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years ago that like I would be here, like, and that I would have met my dad after like 31 years of just being alive. Because I honestly never thought it was going to happen. Like I had just chalked it up. Like I wrote it off. I said, you know what? Like I'm just going to accept, like I'm never going to meet my dad. It's just going to be like this unknown half. And you just accept and you move on. Right. And it's just like, it is what it is. And then doing the DNA thing, like I really even then like just did it as like let me just find out if my ancestry is from Africa, you know, something like stupid. But I never thought that it was like gonna come out to this. Like I would have never thought that like taking that test back in December and then like just a series of all these events. And I mean, I'm happy that I did it. I would say just like Crystal said, like to just remain open to the experience and if you're wondering and you really want to know, I would just say do it. Like I did it because one of my husband's aunts was like, yeah, I've read crazy stories about like DNA ancestry that people do it and they find out that like their dad is not really their dad and that, you know, all this shit and like it's broken families and like crazy shit has happened and like people find out that they were switched at birth, like all types of crazy shit like that. And I was like, well, the best case scenario is that like I find my dad and he's like the prince of some African country. And now I'm a Nubian queen princess. Like that's the best, right? Or like I have an estate, like I'm going to be rich. That didn't happen this time.
This time.
But this time, it didn't happen this time. But
you got something better. You got a sister named Crystal.
Better. Yeah, I got something even better. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, I got something even better. Like, I get to have like a new relationship, 2 new relationships, hell, really 4 or 5 new relationships if we're counting all the siblings and being able to meet them and stuff. And like, just meeting, you know, our father yesterday, it was like, just like real surreal because we're very similar in personality. Like, it was crazy. Like as he was talking, I'm like, yo, like that's literally me. Like that's crazy.
Nice. Well, it sounds like this was a productive trip. It sounds like you guys made the right decision. You know, I'm glad we got this talk. I'm glad we can get a little background on what's been going on with newfound siblings. And hopefully you guys are not estranged anymore. Hopefully you guys are, you know, more directly in contact.
We got to have an update when the families actually meet, an update podcast.
Yeah, we got to have an update when the kids meet.
Yeah,
part 2. This is just part 1. We got part 2.
When you meet my husband meets you, and then everybody meets everybody.
Yeah, when you guys meet me and see what a dumpster fire I am, it's crazy. You're going to be like, oh, Crystal, why this guy? No, you got to get away from him.
No one's going to say that. Everyone loves you already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're pretty cool. You're pretty cool. From this 48 minutes that I've known you, you're pretty cool.
See? And imagine with 2 days. You guys had 2 whole days. Look at that. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. This was another episode of Nobody's Favorite Podcast. You all have a good night. Appreciate ya.